The log was still running when I arrived at the vault. That was the first wrong thing. Naval intelligence logs at Orbital Station Kareth 9 are reviewed once, classified and sealed, procedure that has held for longer than I have been an analyst. But the duty officer on the lower deck would not touch it. She met me at the pressure door, handed me the access chip, and told me she had listened to 37 seconds before she stopped. I asked what she heard. She said she would rather I found out on my own. The Rethavar wing had been a standard reconnaissance insertion. 7 vessels, compact-class scouts, dispatched under Standard Survey Protocol 9 to map navigational drift in the Rethavar corridor, which runs along the outer edge of what the charts call the exclusion margin. The margin is a polite cartographic term. What it marks is human space. What it means is that you log your bearing at the boundary and you turn around. That has been compact doctrine for 61 years. Not because the exclusion margin is a law, because of what happened to the last 3 survey teams that treated it as a suggestion. The Rethavar wing had orders to approach within 4,000 stellar units of the margin and no closer. Wing Commander Save Oren Kaz was experienced, decorated, careful. There was no reason to expect deviation. They deviated on day 4. The log does not explain why. The voice recordings from the command deck are intact, and I have listened to all of them. What I can tell you is that Oren Kaz gave no order to cross. The navigational log shows the course correction came through the wing's automated heading system. Small, incremental, the kind of adjustment that can look like routine drift compensation, until you plot it across all 7 vessels simultaneously and see that every ship corrected by the same fraction of a degree at the same moment. Someone gave that instruction. No one on the command deck issued it. They were inside the margin by day 6. This is where I need you to understand something about the standard model of what happens when a vessel crosses into human space. The standard model says the vessel disappears. It does not make contact. It does not return. The survey board has 44 entries logged over 6 decades, and 43 of them end the same way. The vessel crosses, the telemetry cuts, and the ship does not come back. We stopped sending search parties after the 3rd one failed to return as well. The exclusion margin is not a navigational hazard. The standard model is very clear on what it is. The Rethavar wing came back. They came back 11 days after their fuel margin ran out. 7 ships, full crew, no casualties, no damage to any hull, every log intact, every sensor array functional, every system reading nominal. Oren Kaz filed a standard return report on approach to Kareth 9 and requested debriefing. The duty officer at the time approved the docking without reading the fuel manifest. By the time someone did, the wing was already berthed and the crew was in medical. The medical reports are sealed at a level I do not have clearance to read. I can tell you that all crew members were physically unharmed. I can tell you that the medical team requested immediate consultation with the Compact's Xenopsychology division. I can tell you that 3 of the 7 crew requested reassignment to non-operational postings within 48 hours of arrival, and that 2 of them have not spoken in any recorded capacity since. My job was the log. I set the access chip in the reader and let it play from the beginning. The first 4 days are unremarkable. Standard survey footage, navigational annotations, Oren Kaz's calm twice-daily summaries. The recording quality is good. The crew sounds professional. There is nothing in the first 96 hours that would tell you anything was wrong except, if you know what to listen for, the silence that is not quite silence, the background hiss of an open comm channel that no one is transmitting on. It appears at hour 78 and does not close. In a standard survey operation, that channel is used for emergency contact with compact relay buoys. The Rethavar wing was not near any relay buoys. Someone else was using it to listen. I do not mean the channel was intercepted. I mean the logs show that the carrier wave on that channel was originating from outside the wing's communication array. Something external was holding the channel open. The wing's communications officer noted it in her instrument log at hour 79 and flagged it for Oren Kaz. His response, recorded, was, "Log it and leave it alone." She did. By day 6, when the course corrections brought them across the margin, the channel was carrying more than static. The sensor array was recording structured signal beneath the background noise, not a transmission in any format the wing's decryption suite could process, but ordered, patterned, repeating. The communications officer spent 11 hours trying to identify the encoding. She filed a note that she believed it was not encoded at all. She believed it was a record. She believed something had been recording them for 78 hours before they crossed, and was now playing the recording back. I stopped the log at that point and sat in the vault for a while. Then I started it again. Days 7 through 14 are the part the duty officer stopped at second 37. I understand why. The sensor footage from day 9 shows what paced the wing on the port flank for 6 days, 3 vessels, human design. Running without active transponders, without drive signature, without any emission the compact sensor suite is calibrated to detect, and the only reason the wing's array caught them at all is that the communications officer had recalibrated the passive sensors to track the signal source and swept the surrounding space by accident. The 3 vessels had been there since day 7, possibly since day 4. The passive sensor resolution is not fine enough to say. They did not move to intercept. They did not hail. They paced. On day 11, one of the wing's junior navigators filed a private log entry, personal channel, not the official record, recovered in the review sweep. He wrote that he had begun plotting the wing's course corrections and that he had realized over the previous 6 days that the adjustments did not represent drift compensation. They represented a path. He had plotted where the path was taking them. He deleted what he wrote next. The deletion timestamp is in the record. It took him 4 minutes to decide to delete it, and in those 4 minutes the open channel's background signal increased in amplitude by a factor of 3. He never filed another personal log entry. On day 15, the last day inside the margin, Oren Kaz ordered a return heading. The log records no discussion, no consultation. No apparent reason, he gave the order and the wing turned. The 3 human vessels on the port flank did not follow. They held position and watched the wing transit back across the exclusion margin in single file. 7 ships, no deviation, no contact attempted from either side. The last ship in the wing crossed the boundary at hour 341. At hour 342, a single carrier wave transmitted from inside human space. It reached the boundary and stopped there. It did not cross. It was not directed at any relay buoy or any compact installation. It was directed at the last ship in the Rethavar wing by name. The vessel's compact registration designation, exact and correct, transmitted in standard compact communication protocol by something that had no business knowing what that designation was. The communications officer decoded it in 11 seconds. It was 3 words. She recorded them in the instrument log in writing, and then manually struck the entry and marked it classified at her own discretion, which is not something a communications officer has the authority to do. No one has countermanded her. I have the authority to read the struck entry. I have not read it. I filed the classification request at hour 6 of my review shift. Black designation, full vault seal, restricted access pending compact Naval Security Council review. I included in my filing a recommendation that the Rethavar corridor be withdrawn from Survey Protocol 9's operational map, and that the exclusion margin at that sector be extended by 800 stellar units in all directions. I included a secondary recommendation that the compact standard model for what occurs when a vessel crosses into human space be formally revised. The standard model says the vessels do not come back. I would like the record to reflect that I now believe the standard model is wrong in a way that should concern us considerably more than the original version did. The vessels that do not come back have not been destroyed. I do not know what has been done with them. I know only what the Rethavar wings return confirms, that something inside human space has been watching the margin for a long time, that it knows our ship designations and our communication protocols, that it can hold a channel open from 4,000 stellar units away, and that when it chose to let 7 ships go home, it told them exactly why. I requested transfer to archive-only duty this morning. The request was approved by the end of shift. I will not say what 3 words were transmitted on that channel. I will say only that we have been making a category error for 61 years. We have been calling it a border. It is not a border. It is a distance they have decided, so far, to find acceptable.